All right, if you got this thing here just flopping all over the place, not changing any of this, then I think I know what to do. First, this thing tray here comes off, the whole thing drops out, and then you can access a valve, modulator valve. It's just 2 bolts that's holding that. I've already done it, so I'll show you how it looks like. And on the way back, when I put it back up, I'll show you how to put it back. Okay, today we're going to talk about this AC switch vacuum modulator, whatever you want to call it. So this is what controls when you change from off to heat to AC. All these vacuum lines here, they are modulated when you change the knob here. So when you pull on that thing in the front, this actually moves here, this arm, and that changes the position for vacuum channels all underneath this disc here. I'll show you what's underneath the disc here. So when you move this around, see the position changes, and there's 2 things that accomplish. So these humps here, they move some leads underneath. That'll change the electrical side of things, but also what's really interesting is when you move all that, you're kind of like a transmission. You're changing the vacuum. It's like a little puzzle. It's very clever. You're basically moving air through all these channels, in and out through these tubes here. It's really clever. The only downside to this thing is, see that right here? That is a hollow piece of plastic, and it's basically cinched down really hard. And then there's it's clamped down with retainer. This retainer basically that's a lot of clamping pressure. So what happens is, I don't know if you can see, it breaks right there. That's how these things fail always, is that where my fingernails, it breaks right there. See, right now I have it glued back up with Gorilla epoxy, but once that fails, your adjustment lever starts becoming loose. I just happen to be lucky enough to find all the parts still kind of stuck up there. I'll show you how to remove that in a little bit. And there's those 2 pins in there. So when you move that disc around, it gets lifted up, those 2 pins, and that changes. It's like a little switch that changes what's electrical signals come out of it on this side here. All right. Well, that piece broke off again as I tried to cinch it down. But we don't give up too easy, do we? Let's see if that works. So that's basically a nut and bolt setup with washer, and does exactly the same thing. And it seems to be working so far so good. And I put a little bit of blue thread locker to hold it in place, and I'm gonna cut off the excess here when I go back outside. And let's see if this works. If this works, man, that's my solution. I just don't know if that hole that exists there is there for a reason. If something lines up with that. If it does, then I gotta go back and figure out something else. All right, let's see. There you go, guys. It's installed back up. There's just 2 nuts that hold it in place. Bolts, 1, and then there's 1 on the other side. And that electrical connector is on. All the vacuum connections are on. And that seems to be working just fine. Let me move the lever so you can see. See? That works just fine. And I'll show you on the other side. So as you can see here, this thing has to come off. And that's just 1, 2 screws, and then 1 more bolt here, maybe on this one. And then this whole thing drops off, and then you can access that. But as you can see, now it's nice and crisp. I can actually get through all the positions. Previously it was just flopping around. All right.